Hey, what is up YouTubers, Designer Reviews, coming to you guys with a third video in this series that's going to show you guys how to spot fake Polo Ralph Lauren clothing. Now in this video we're going to take a look at short sleeve polo shirts, long sleeve polo shirts, as well as rugby shirts. So with that said guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and let's get right into it. So I basically grouped short sleeve polo shirts, long sleeve polo shirts, as well as rugbies because of how similarly designed they are. So basically if you want to spot a fake in this general category, I suggest looking at 5 different features of the shirt. So with that said, I suggest you guys look at the collar label, the size label, the buttons, the care instructions label, as well as the hem. So on the note of collar labels, most long sleeve polo shirts, short sleeve polo shirts, and rugby shirts come with one of the 2 collar labels that you guys are seeing on the screen right now. So the only exception to that are the polo golf shirts and the polo active shirts, which you guys are seeing on the screen right now. Polo active shirts just typically have their collar labels screen printed onto it, while the polo golf shirts have a unique collar label, as you guys are seeing right now. Being that I don't have a polo golf shirt or a polo active shirt to show you guys in this video, I'm just going to talk about the particular type of collar label that I just showed you guys previously. It is important to note that with the collar label, doesn't matter if it's the older design or the newer design, it is only sewn vertically. So what I mean by that is that since the top and bottom or the horizontal sides are not directly sewn, you can definitely see the threading inside the collar label. So the older design collar labels have white threading, while the newer design collar labels have gold threading. With that said guys, another thing to look for is the stitch that basically holds the collar label in place. The one that is stitched vertically is most likely a color from the shirt itself. So with that said guys, as you guys are seeing right now, the older design collar label, the shirt is a turquoise blue or something like that, and you guys can definitely see that the collar label is stitched vertically with a turquoise blue thread. So that's just something to look for when trying to rule out fakes. Now the size label perhaps serves as one of the most important indicators for if a shirt is fake. So the size label looks like either one of the 2 that I'm showing you guys right now on the screen. Now this is where things really get interesting. With the size label, it is important to know that it is always located towards the right of the collar label. And if you flip the size label over, you can see the RN number. Now that being said, on the newer design size label, the country manufacturer is always located on it. Now on the older design size labels, I'm showing you guys these 2 labels because one on the left hand side has a country manufacturer while the other on the right hand side doesn't. So what makes these 2 different? So basically if the shirt is an older design collar and size label and it is a custom fit or a slim fit, and it's going to have a country manufacturer on the size label. On the other hand, if the shirt is basically just a classic fit, then the country manufacturer is going to be located under the collar label. And you guys can definitely see the difference between those, because under the collar label for the custom fit shirt, it has a label saying that the shirt is custom fit, whereas the classic fit shirt just has the country manufacturer. And finally, the most important thing to the size label to me is the price tag indicator. So in my experience, most short sleeve polos, long sleeve polos, and rugby shirts have price tags attached to the other side of the size label, which has the RN number. If you guys take a close look right now, which I am showing you guys some footage of, you can see holes that serve as basically an indicator that the price tag was attached to this point. So basically guys, if you guys can find this hole, it's a good sign that your shirt is most likely authentic. But that's not to say that all price tags come attached to the size label. I mean, it basically depends on the distributor, but most of the time, I stress most of the time, the price tag comes attached to the back of the size label. So the buttons can either come cross-stitch or single-stitch. Most of the time, buttons come cross-stitch, but just because a button comes single-stitch does not necessarily mean it's fake. So right now, on the left-hand side, you guys are seeing a cross-stitch button, and on the right-hand side, you guys are seeing a single-stitch button. So you may ask again, what's the difference between the 2? On the left-hand side, where the button is cross-stitch, you can see that the button is not covered by any other type of clothing. Whereas on the right-hand side, you can see that the button is covered by a flap. So basically, if the button is enclosed by a flap, which you guys are seeing me move right now, then the button is going to be single stitched. I don't know why it works like that, but it's always like that. On the other hand, if the button is just completely exposed and not covered by a flap, then it's going to be cross stitched. Next, the care instructions label, always located towards the bottom hem on the left hand side. So with the care instructions label, you have the care instructions as well as the supplier label. And the care instructions definitely differ from different shirts because of the different types of styles they are. But what you guys want to look for that your shirt has are the care instructions label and the supplier label. And you want to make sure that they are located towards the bottom hem on the left-handed side. Now finally, let's talk about the hem. The hem is also another beneficial feature to look at when trying to spot fake Polo Ralph Lauren clothing. So with that said, for short sleeve polo shirts, the back hem is always significantly longer than the front hem, which you guys are seeing right now on the screen. On the long sleeve polo shirts, the back hem is slightly longer than the front hem, but it's not significantly longer as compared to the short sleeve polo Ralph Lauren shirt. And finally, for rugbies, the front and back hem are about the same size. So guys, with everything said, when looking at this general category that I made up for short sleeve Polo Ralph Lauren shirts, long sleeve Polo Ralph Lauren shirts, as well as rugby shirts, you just want to basically look for the collar labels, the size labels, the buttons, the care instructions labels, and essentially the supplier label with that, and finally the hem. Nevertheless, another thing you want to look for are the pony logo as well as the quality of the clothing. So with everything said, guys, I hope this video helped you out, and I hope to see you in the next one. Until then, peace.